Alright, so we're back. Sorry for the noise in the background, but I'm kind of doing this in my backyard. I wanted to bring another video to you, and today we're planting pear trees and apple trees. And what we got going is I've stratified some of them I haven't stratified. Is basically like faking a winter period, basically. And so anyhow, that's what we're going to kind of be doing today. I did want to apologize for closing out my last video. We're still kind of working on some of the editing things, and I just didn't really know how to close it out so well. But anyhow, now would be a good time to like, share, subscribe if you want to. We're going back down. It'll be the 19th. We planted them the last day of February, so that was the 28th, so that'd be 19 days worth of growth on them. And we'll see how well the Clover Crush did, and then the Mossy Oak Grass Seed. It's like the Winter Plus brand. So anyhow, it'll be nice to get back with you on those. I'm kind of interested to see what they're doing. I think they got 3 to 4 inches of rain coming this weekend. I think they got like a couple inches alone today. So anyhow, it's kind of cold and chilly at the Mecca, and so anyhow, what we're going to be doing today is planting seeds. They're from basically an apple that come from the store. We'll start with the apples. So this is my water here. I don't ever use just like chlorinated water or water that comes from the tap. If I do, I always let it kind of sit out and let it evaporate so most of that gets out. That is water from the tap, but it's gone through a Brita pitcher, and now it's just basically sitting there. And so over here, these are going to be our little mini greenhouses. There's no holes in the bottom, but there is in the top, kind of create that mini greenhouse effect. We will start with, so I started stratifying them on February the 13th, and so that's a total of, I believe, 25 days. Some of them I stratified, some of them I didn't. So I've been hearing that technically you don't necessarily have to stratify them. The Honeycrisp, I didn't. I just started them on 3/6, so it's just been a few days. And so what I've done with these is I've set these in my windowsill. I've had them taped up in basically my window, south-facing window, and we're only 5 days into putting them in a bag like this and starting the germination process. So we're only 5 days into it, but I looked today, we had quite a few popping. We'll start with the Honeycrisp. I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but these, like I said, these are not stratified. We're just going to go through, and anything that's started to pop, we're going to go ahead and put in some soil. But nothing on the Honeycrisp. Like I said, they're only 5 days into it. Really, they need like 7 to 10 days. So we'll kind of set them off to the side. The other brand that we've gone with is a Fuji apple. These were stratified. These were started clear back on February 13th. And here, as you can see, we got all kinds of these popping. Actually, every single one, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This one looks like it's trying to. So we'll go ahead and on this video, I'm not going to do all of them. I'm just going to give you kind of an idea of what you should do. There's just not a really good video that I've seen out there. And so my hands are washed. I always try to wash my hands. No oils, no nothing like that. I'm just going to go through with the soil. Basically what I've done is, here, I'll show you. I do 2 handfuls like this. Not really even handfuls. And then I don't even really pack them. I just set them in there just like that. Then I come through with the Sharpie. So I'm not going all the way down, just a little bit. Nothing's tightly packed or anything like that, just creating some holes. Set that down. Some people don't like to use their fingers. I prefer to. So when they get this far out, basically, this is your taproot right here. So you're going to want to plant this straight down. I'm just going to set it inside there. Actually, I need to go a little bit deeper for this one. Oh, he's going to fall over. He's going to be difficult. That's alright. And then on something like this, we're just going to lightly push that soil right over. Nothing tightly packed or anything like that. And then I'm going to set him over here in this box so we don't get them all mixed up. I'm going to move into another one. Like I said, taproot down. Push that down into the soil. And then just lightly cover it. Just like that. Got another one here. Gonna make some more room for them, basically. And we're just lightly covering them up. They're only going to stay in here until they get about that tall, and then we'll transplant them into something. And I haven't decided if I want to go straight out or just like straight out to the easement and plant them right out in the food plot, or if keep them at home for like a year and let them kind of take off. Just really haven't decided. I cannot believe how much these suckers like took off just within 5 days. Today is what, the 11th?
Yeah.
So what, 6 days, 5 days on them? And nothing like packed down real tight whatsoever. This will be a little bit better of an example here. Most of the time, when people pop them out, they're starting to kind of turn like this. And you just lightly cover them. I'm just setting these off to the side so I don't get them all mixed up, and then I'll come back and label them. Seed going in. And then just kind of lightly cover that. We got one more. See, this is where sometimes they talk about scoring, and sometimes it'll leave this white on there. Sometimes people say take it off. Some people say like you nick it. And when they talk about nicking the seed, it's like right up here, so that way it'll allow it to bust. I guess really with this guy, we're only 5 days into letting him germinate. I'm just going to fold him back up and put him back in there. But anyhow, that's kind of what you do. That's my process. So now that we got all the seeds covered, basically what I'm going to do is we've talked about the water. So I'm going to screw it on to my little sprayer that I got. Never use this, I just got this today, so make sure you set your valve to where it's not spraying on them real hard. I don't know if you can see this, but it's coming out more of like a mist. I want to turn that down where it's a light mist and not so hard, something like that. And most people ask how much you water. Enough to get the top of it saturated for sure. I don't know if you can see, but as soon as it starts to puddle up, that's about when I stop. And so if you kind of scan back, kind of stand back a little bit, you can see that it's nice and saturated right there around the seed. That's how I like to start off, and I just let them set for a while. But as you see, I'm picking them up and I'm filling them. When they feel really light, they need water. When they feel real heavy, they don't need water. That's just kind of a good rule of thumb and something that I have always learned. So I'm going to set these extras off to the side. And so these are our Fujis. And I will get them all labeled and get them covered. And so I'll show you the next step here. Basically take some clear tape. I don't know where my scissors went to.
Right here.
Thank you.
Yep.
So I just cut me off some pieces. I don't know, 2 or 3 inches long here. Probably that's about 4 inches really. But I'm just going to do one. Then on the top, like I said, I have a hole for evaporation, create the greenhouse effect, make that seed nice and warm. And then I'm just going to come over here. Can you see that, honey?
Mm-hmm.
And basically just going to tape it down on one side, and it creates a hinge effect. So that way, you know, you can kind of check on them like that, and then it holds them down. So basically what I'll do is I'll stick these all in a flat, and I'll fill them all up, and then I put them right back in the same south-facing window that I germinated them in. So I'll have seeds taped up on my window, and they'll be germinating. Then I'll have these going below, and south-facing, it gets quite a bit of sun throughout the day. So it's a really good ideal window. And then you always got to remember to label. So once I get it on here, I just write, really, I don't know if I want to write clear back to the saturation date. I think I'm going to put 2 dates on there. I think I'm going to put the day that I started stratifying them, which was 2/13/21, and then I'm going to put today's date, which is 3/11/21, and then underneath it I'll label what it is. So this is a Fuji apple. And then me, I'm a little OCD, and so I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to put an S on top of it like that, and that way I always remember that this tree was stratified or wasn't. So anyhow, that's the science guru part of me. I like everything to be labeled and know what it is. But anyhow, that's the process. I don't know if I'll ever stratify them again now that I've heard that technically you don't have to. But I know I stratified mine for 25 days. Some other key points that I want to probably stress is that you have to have 2 different varieties. They say that whatever you're planting won't necessarily come out like the fruit that you ate and then took the seeds from it, but it should be fairly close. It'll be something within that DNA or that gene link there. But you do have to have 2 different varieties to make fruit, basically. And so I'm taking the same principle with the pears. The pears, I'm going with a Bosque and an Anjou. A-N-J-O-U. And so, anyhow, I've stratified those as well. Tried to mimic that winter phase and all that. Really, I think that's about it. Talks about letting the water sit. Always let your water sit if you're getting it from the tap. Honestly, any water, it's not bad to just let it evaporate, because they're always putting trace chemicals and stuff like that into your water. But anyhow, I'll close this video out a little bit nicer. Just always remember, if you're feeding Mother Nature, she's always going to feed you back. With that being said, have a good day, and like, share, subscribe,